Now, again, I want to take some time to talk about something that's really important for percent problems, because the thing we have to remember is that the answers have to make sense. They have to make sense. So we shouldn't get some answer that doesn't make sense in the real world, okay? And what I use is a rule in my head called the 10% rule. So whenever I have a percent problem, and if I know the base, the whole amount, I automatically in my mind think, what's 10% of that number? Why 10%? It's just easy. You just drop the decimal point in any number, right? If I say what's 10% of 100? 10, right? If I say what's 10% of 1,000? 10. So 10% is real easy to find out of any number. You just move the decimal point over one space, and that's 10%. Right? Does that make sense? If I said 10% of 50, 5. Okay? So in my mind, I'm always thinking 10%. And so when I look at the number 58,000, I say, okay, what's 10% of 58,000? 5,800. Then I look at, 26. 10 is about half of 5,800. Not exactly. So I know my number is going to be somewhere around 0.5%. So if you think about these numbers, when you know the whole or the base, and you think about it in terms of what's 10% of it, it helps you to kind of estimate what your answer would be. Okay? So for example, if I had, go back to the living room set problem. If the living room set is 1,795, I know 10% of that is 179. Okay? So then I'm thinking, well, if 10% is 179, half of that is about 90. Okay? And 6% is not 5%, but it's close enough for estimation purposes. So if I know 10% of 1,795 is 179, and then half of 10% is 5%, so 5% will be 90, I know my number should come out, I've erased it already, but I know my number should come out 100 and whatever the percent was, or the dollar amount was. I know my number should be somewhere in that ballpark of 90 to 100 and something dollars. Because if 5% is $90, 6% shouldn't be too much higher than that. So if my answer is far off, it lets me know I've done something wrong and I need to come back and check myself. So again, if you always think about the number 10%, or if you think about 10% of a number, and it's easy because you just drop a decimal point in, one to the left, then it's going to help you to be able to do some estimation and make sure you're in the right ballpark. Okay? So let's go back and look at a couple of these. If we go back to page 30. So let's look at number 8 in Daryl's income. So when Daryl's income was $1,480, 10% of his income is $148, right? So the way I work with that in my mind, okay, is this about $150? Now this is all estimation. This is not exact, but it's just to help us be in the ballpark. So 10% or about 10% is $150. Another $150 is another 10%. Another $150 is another 10%. But they said 35%. That's what we're trying to figure out. So half of 10% is what? 5%. Half of 150 is what? 75. So then I could add these up. 150, 300, 450, 525. And what was our answer? 518. So it just helps me to estimate, to be in the ballpark. So when I'm looking at 5 answers, even if I can't remember all those formulas, part divided by base, part divided by rate, rate times base, if I can't remember those formulas and I know the base, at least I can estimate. or if they tell me the rate, at least I can kind of play with those numbers a little bit. Okay? Just another tool to help you kind of get through these when you're on the test.